Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive 4,500-year-old secret. We're talking about a piece of ancient infrastructure that literally made the grand monuments of ancient Egypt possible. It's a completely forgotten marvel of ancient engineering, a real logistical triumph. And the crazy part is, it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time.
So we all know about the pyramids and the temples at Giza, right? But the actual mystery isn't just the architecture itself. It's the transit. How on earth did ancient engineers move these impossibly dense basalt blocks across a shifting, totally unforgiving desert without any modern machinery? I mean, you can't just drag the equivalent of a small mountain across sinking sand, no matter how many ropes or people you have pulling it.
Section 1. The heavy stone problem.
Okay, so let's break down the core issue here, which really just comes down to a fundamental law of friction and gravity. On one hand, you've got these massive, ultra-heavy basalt blocks that are absolutely crucial for building royal monuments. On the other hand, you have soft, sinking desert sand. And here's the reality. No matter how much manpower you throw at this, the sheer crushing weight of that basalt is just going to bury your wooden transport sleds deep into the earth. If they couldn't figure this out, their entire supply chain was at risk of literally grinding to a halt.
Which brings us to Section 2, building the first highway.
To solve this absolute nightmare of a transportation crisis, they didn't just try to brute force it. No, they got smart. They built the Lake Moeris Quarry Road. Located in the Faiyum Governorate, historians and archaeologists actually recognize this as humanity's oldest surviving paved road. We're not talking about a well-worn dirt path here. This was deliberate, highly engineered transport infrastructure.
And their structural solution was just brilliant in its simplicity. They took the sinking desert sands out of the equation entirely and swapped them for sturdy sandstone and limestone paving. By laying down this solid continuous track, they created a rigid, low-friction surface. Because of this, those sleds, loaded up with massive basalt blocks, could actually be dragged efficiently across what was otherwise a totally impassable landscape.
Section 3. Journey to Lake Moeris.
4,500. That is how many years old this engineered marvel is. It's almost hard to wrap your head around. Thousands of years before the Industrial Revolution, before modern machinery, ancient Egyptian engineers conceptualized, organized, and built large-scale, permanent paved roads. And the fact that this road has actually survived into the modern era is just wild. 12. This hand-laid road stretched for 12 kilometers. That's about 7.5 miles, cutting straight across the sun-baked Faiyum Desert. Just take a second and imagine the immense, back-breaking labor required to quarry, transport, and meticulously lay down paving stones for 12 continuous kilometers. It's a mind-boggling achievement.
So to keep their massive royal construction projects supplied, they basically ran a precise, four-step logistical flow. Think of it like an ancient assembly line. First, workers extracted the heavy basalt right out of the quarries. Second, they dragged those massive blocks on sleds over our new 12-kilometer paved highway. Third, they'd finally arrive at the shores of ancient Lake Moeris. And finally, step 4, they transitioned those blocks onto boats, sailing them all the way up to Giza. This road was literally the crucial land bridge that made the whole operation possible.
Section 4. The oldest paved road.
Let's look at the timeline to really put this into perspective. Road construction actually kicked off around 2500 BCE, right during the Old Kingdom, and it saw heavy active use all the way through 2100 BCE. To put that in context, centuries before the famous paved roads of Rome were even a thought, this highway was already actively shaping Egyptian civilization. Today, recognized as the world's oldest surviving paved road, it fundamentally shifts our entire timeline of human engineering.
So bringing this all together, constructed between 2500 and 2100 BCE, this 12-kilometer limestone and sandstone highway brilliantly defeated the mother of all ancient supply chain bottlenecks, the sinking desert sands. Without it, the iconic structures of the Old Kingdom, the temples and monuments as we know them today, well, they honestly might never have been completed.
Which leaves us with a really fascinating final thought. If a 12-kilometer paved road from 4.5 millennia ago can hide in plain sight for so long, what other lost technological wonders are still waiting beneath the desert sands to completely rewrite our history? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and remember, never stop questioning what we think we know about our ancient past.